Well, the 5 men accused of the murder of 7 suspected criminals in an alleged vigilante attack are expected to apply for bail today when the case resumes in the Randburg Magistrate's Court. The 7 people were burned to death in 2 separate attacks in the township earlier this month. The accused are facing 5 counts of murder, 5 counts of attempted murder, assault with intent to cause grievous bodily harm, kidnapping and malicious damage to property. Now, one of them is facing a further charge of contravention of the Immigration Act. SABC News reporter Chriselda and video journalist Kwazi Manzi are covering the story. Let's cross to them live now. Chriselda, a good morning to you. Certainly a story I think that we're all watching very closely. Can we talk firstly about what we know about the accused that will be appearing today?
Well, Naledi, you basically summed it up. Indeed, those 5 men accused of the murder of 7 suspected criminals in this apparent vigilante attack are expected to apply for bail here at the Randburg Magistrate's Court here this morning. The 7 people, as you correctly pointed out, were burned to death in 2 separate attacks in that particular township. When we look at what are the charges that they're facing, these are counts of murder, counts of attempted murder, assault with intent to do grievous bodily harm, as well as kidnapping and malicious damage to property. And as you already alluded to there, one of them is facing a charge of contravention of the Immigration Act. The National Prosecuting Authority already having indicated that they will oppose this bail application. Recall, the last time they did indicate that investigations were still ongoing, and amongst the investigations that they needed to do related to an identity parade. So we've also heard from a number of people over concerns taking place in Diepsloot. The Gauteng Police Commissioner Elias Mawela warning residents of that community not to allow themselves to be used. I think this was yesterday in so-called vigilante attacks. So for years now, you know, the community of Diepsloot has been plagued by rampant violent crime. The community has said that it does not feel safe and has basically lost faith in policing in that particular area. They've consistently said, you know, several cries for help have fallen on deaf ears. And while police have said in areas like Diepsloot, it's incredibly difficult to police there due to an array of issues, including congestion. But the community has been calling for increased police visibility, you know, through patrols and perhaps even stationary deployment of police vehicles as one of the solutions to hamper rampant crime in that area. But the people of Diepsloot say the issue of crime in that area has been, it's not the first time that there's been such a focus on Diepsloot. Every single time there's been interventions, I recall a number of times when I've gone to that particular community, and there the South African Police Service has put in intervention measures, but those intervention measures don't last long, Naledi. At some point they would then move out, and then those who are responsible for crimes in those areas would continue unabated with terrorizing the community there. But in essence, the community that is now up in arms over the situation in that area, we understand that I think a bus and a number of taxis will also be making their way to this court, with concerned members of the community who are saying instances like this only take place where they believe law enforcement has not done their job. They've complained for the longest time now that there needs to be permanent solutions found to the crises in Diepsloot. And these are a number of issues that if you just look at the geography, the geographical area as well of Diepsloot, and that there are a number of challenges that are affecting that community, including some of the social ills that plague that particular area. Inadequate lighting for police to be able to even do their job. So it's really an instance where law enforcement now would need to hold hand to hand with the community of Diepsloot to try and ensure that permanent solutions are found to the crisis in Diepsloot, or you will continuously have what we're seeing now. It's not the first time that people have been killed in that particular area. Communities have been complaining about being terrorized. So certainly what we're expecting to hear from the community that is also expected to converge here, I think in about 20 minutes or so, they want their community members who've subsequently been arrested for alleged involvement in this alleged vigilante attack to be released on bail. That's what they want, because I think some of them honestly feel, let me just hear behind me, I don't know if those are community members who have just made their way here, Going to try and find out and see. Now let it just stand with me for a second and let's see if they are coming through this way. Just bear with me for a second. Sanibonani bosisi. Besicela omunye wenu. Cela usondele mama. Just bear with me. Unfortunately, they're just arriving at the moment. So let me try to see if we can't have a word with some of the community. Besicela nisondele mama kancane. And let's get a word from Sanibonani mama kunjani? Sanibona mama kunjani? Sikhona niphume Diepsloot namhlanje. You are community members mase nginibona. Nilapha namhlanje sizwe ukuthi part of your community ba apply for bail namhlanje. Nifuna ukuthini nje njengomphakathi?
Sina umphakathi sime imbuba e1. Sifuna abafowethu baphumela ngaphandle ngoba abalaqala. Ayikho into bayenzile. Simangalelo. Siyabonga.
Nifuna baphume mama dibona nje ingalo yomthetho yona ithi hayi mababa ngaphumi basola ukuthi bebeke babulala abantu. Nithini ngendaba yase Diepsloot? Asiqali siyintathelo ukuthi sifike lapha eDiepsloot nichaze le inkinga lezi eninazo. Kudala nikhuluma ngazo ukuthi inkinga kahle yini lapha eDiepsloot engasumbululeki nje.
Inkinga yaseDiepsloot mama siyabulawa. Ubusuku nobusuku eDiepsloot kufa abantu. Siyabulawa kudala sifuna unqedo. Kudala sikhala ukuthi sicela baze nonqedo eDiepsloot baze nesolution ukuthi umphakathi into basibulayana iphele. Siyabulawa day and night, every night eDiepsloot abantu bayafa, kufa abantu aba innocent abanganaqala. Bayangenelelwa. Asazi ukuthi sikhulume sithini.
Ekuphoyiseni ngiyakhumbula sisonke kukhona izincidents ebezikhona lapha eDiepsloot. Kumane kufika amaphoyisa kwathiwa hayi bazongeza amaphoyisa bahlala isikhashana nje. Uthi bahambe siswami. Nifunani njengomphakathi weDiepsloot ngoba kudala sixoxa le ndaba lena futhi asiqali futhi ukuthi kube khona into enjena.
Into singayicela ngamanje abasilethela amasotsha azokhona ukungena bangenelele emaphasejini walapha emkhukhwini bangasabi ukungena ngoba amaphoyisa asitshela ukuthi amaveni awangeni ngale abakhona ukungena. So sicela basinikeza amasoja azosebenza permanent. Asifuni into yamanje iphinde ihambe. Sifuna permanent solution eDiepsloot.
Mama siyabonga kakhulu enkosi. Siyaba okhona omunye umhlaba ufuna ukuphawula i-community member. Ukhona omunye mama masizwe kuwe nje kancane nje uphume eDiepsloot nawe awusichazele nje ngesimo saseDiepsloot ukuthi iniphila impilo enjani lapho.
Impilo esiphila eDiepsloot ngifila ngathi siphila ku war zone and then the system it doesn't cater for thina abantu base Diepsloot because during the night amaphoyisa wabonakali mara emini siyawabona ba collect ama bribery into ezinjalo. So I feel ukuthi everything eyenzekile nalabantu laba bachisiwe if amaphoyisa bebekhona bahlale bekhona bezokwazi ukuba protect labantu laba. So mina personally angeke ngize ngithi ngiyapromote mob justice but lento zonke ezenzakalile ama consequences were brutal and one sided of which ukuthi if amaphoyisa babenza umsebenzi wabo bengeke zikwenzakala everything iyenzakalile.
Sabonga kakhulu mama. Just some of the sentiment Naledi that's being shared there by members of the community in Diepsloot. They are here to support those who have been arrested for alleged involvement in this alleged vigilante attack. And what they're saying is that they want let's just move towards this direction. They want their community members to be released on bail because they believe that if police did their job, we would not be in this position at the moment. And they say that police have already said they aren't able to patrol, the area of Diepsloot because of a number of issues that I mentioned, including the fact these are some of the community members. I see also Operation Dudula has also arrived here. I'll see if we can't just speak to some of the community members who are here. They will come through this particular direction. And I see Nabokoko Bakona, some old ladies as well. Perhaps they would tell us what it is like to be elderly people abase Diepsloot. Sanibonani mama. Kunjani? Hayi besicela nje umuntu omdala uphume Diepsloot nawe mama. Besicela nje ukhuluma. Gogo woza gogo. Woza gogo. Besicela ukuzwa gogo base Diepsloot ukuthi kunjani abantu abadala. Likai me. Riteng. Kupa utle mona mama. Utwa Diepsloot. Oh, niphila kanjani nje lapha eDiepsloot ningabantu abadala ogogo nje bakhona?
Hayi akwabali bisipo. Ha re kwabali ke ditsotsi Diepsloot. Dithunya tsa teng. Go re di duma bosibu kaofela. Batho ba ya shwa. Ha ona letsatsi le mahala. Ke ditopo fela Diepsloot.
Ke ditopo fela.
Ha re sa tseba na re balela kae. Ka nnete.
Okay. So, Mama Gogo telling us that, they don't sleep at night in Diepsloot. It's just bodies everywhere. That's what she says. And that's why this community is here saying that, they are concerned about the situation in Diepsloot and why nothing permanent has been sought to sort out the challenges that they are experiencing in a Diepsloot. And this community here says they want bail for those, and they're not condoning, vigilantism or attacks on anyone. But what they are simply saying is that they are concerned about the fact that these permanent solutions that have not, the Diepsloot Community Forum as well, which is also here. Bestela wena mama, so khuluma nawe mama. Diepsloot Community Forum nikhona apha nani namhlacela uzomalana please mama ujonge mina. Ujonge mna mama. Nilapha namhlanje nithi makuphele into yase Diepsloot yokubulala kwabantu. Nilapha namhlanje nizothini?
Yo mama sidiniwe. Kunini? Abantu sibathanda, abantu bebe innocent, abantu besiphila nabo, abantu bebesebenzela abantwana babo abasekho namhlanje icrime yaseDiepsloot. Abantwana baseke bangena bazali ngendaba abantu baseDiepsloot ekudala sabukhalala sema. Kunini sakhalayo sito yasenza imhlolo leyo akunanto esincedayo.
No, siyabonga kakhulu mama. Community members just saying that they are very concerned about what is taking place in Diepsloot. These are not new issues, Naledi, that we have addressed or even seen as the media. There's nothing new about what we're reporting here. But what is actually taking place is that these community members are saying that so many people have taken matters into their own hands in Diepsloot. They're sick and tired of rampant crime. They're sick and tired of, illegal foreign nationals, who some of them also say that is what has contributed, they say, of course, to crime in that particular undocumented, individuals who would run helter-skelter in the area, because obviously if you don't have any documentation, police are even unable to trace you. Let's take a look at what they are saying here. Let's take a look at this. Take a look at what this is saying right here. I'll just show you in a second. This says, release the Diepsloot 5. That is what they're being referred to. Stop the rape, stop the robberies, stop the killing of Diepsloot residents. This is what sums up what this community is saying here this morning. So we'll certainly hear as that bail application is expected to get underway inside this court here in Randburg this morning, whether they will be successful in that bail application. But of course what we do know is that the National Prosecuting Authority is opposing that bail application. So while that bail application takes place inside, we're expecting these community members, some of them to head inside, and of course others to continue with their protest here outside.